What is up, lemon heads? Happy Wednesday, hump day, halfway through the week. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week, that you are rocking and rolling and grinding, and you are finishing summer strong. Here in Texas, summer is still in full swing. We are 106 degrees. It is the time of year where I'm like, why do we live here? But everyone else hates it, but it is a good problem to have if you are in the heating and air conditioning world. So excited to have you guys joining me today. If you are just jumping on, let me know down in the comments. We would love to interact with you, see where you're coming from. Feel free to ask any questions and we will jump in and ask it. So I'm going to tag in my lemon seed team and they will be interacting with you guys. Alrighty, so today we are talking about taking your marketing from random to strategic. Okay, so have you ever felt that like you are doing all the marketing, but you are not seeing the results that you expected? Well, it's probably because it's a little bit random. Okay, it's probably because you don't have a lot of intentionality happening behind the scenes or helping you to be actually hitting your goals and growing your company. So, what do I mean by random? Well, to me, it's kind of like when you go to the grocery store and you buy some food, but you don't have anything that can make an actual recipe. You don't have anything that can make a cohesive meal, okay? So maybe you went to the grocery store and you bought some like deli sliced turkey, you bought an avocado or a cucumber, you bought a box of pasta and a tub of yogurt. Like, could you feed your family? Could you eat food and not go hungry? Yes. Okay, like you're doing something there, but like, is it a full meal? Is it fully thought out and put together? No, okay? So that is what I'm talking about. When you have a strategic marketing plan, you're going from just buying food, just meal, buying random ingredients to actually having things that you can put together and make a comprehensive meal. And when you have a strategy, those things layer upon each other and they taste better together, okay? All of a sudden you're like, like here's some magic happening. So, is your marketing random? Are you only posting on social media when you remember? Like, oh yeah, like I need to do that. Okay. You have all the good intentions. You're all gung ho. You bought a new little selfie ring light that everything is going to look so much better. But then you have all the great intentions, but there's no strategy or calendar or content pillars that you've thought behind. And you're like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Okay. So your posting is random. Your posting is inconsistent. Okay. If you're waiting, if you don't have a real plan or strategy, and that's your strategy of like, when I think about it, that's the first thing that's going to get kicked to the curb. Okay. That's the first thing that's going to go. Okay. Um, are you jumping on every new platform or trend? Again, without any strategy, but it's just random, okay? I have been seeing all these HVAC contractors. So I have seen one company do this very well. I think they kind of set the trend, but it's all their HVAC guys and they're all standing in a circle and they're singing some little love song where they're all lip syncing and dancing around and feeling themselves, and the comments are blowing up and people love it. And they have done this very consistently. That's kind of what they're known for. But I've seen all these other HVAC contractors kind of pop up and trying to do it too. And while it's good and it's funny, but like there's also no intentionality behind it. And like that's not a consistent, that they just randomly do it here and there, okay? To where they're not getting kind of the same results as those other people because they're just kind of jumping on this trend haphazardly with no intention behind it. Or you hear someone talking about some marketing tactic and you're like, we're gonna do that. Yes, sign me up for YouTube pre-roll. I heard someone talk about that's fantastic. And then like, do you actually have any commercials? Do you actually have any video content that is put together and produced that would be applicable for YouTube pre-roll? I saw someone, a potential client that we were talking to, they're like, yes, I want to do YouTube pre-roll. I have all these before and after pictures. I'm like, okay, great that you got some pictures, but like that's not quite the right media for YouTube pre-roll. So just because someone in your Facebook group was talking about that, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have the right tools or strategy that you should be jumping on that bandwagon. Are you running promotions without a larger goal? Okay. That is random. Okay. So it's no surprise that you might be running some offers or you seeing other contractors running offers. But like if there's not a strategy behind it, you can be doing it for naught. So like, hey, it's summer. Like I just said, here in Texas, it's over 100 degrees, humidity tanking on up there 80 plus. Okay, it's miserable. And you know what, our HVAC technicians, their wheels are pounding the pavement. Okay, they are busy from sun up to sundown. They are working hard. You know what I'm not going to go run right now is a low barrier of entry $59 tune up. You know why? I don't need that right now to get my foot in the door. The weather has created that demand for me. I don't need to spark up some of these low barrier of entry offers just for the sake of it, or like I saw so and so else doing it. Okay, those are things that's more designed for the shoulder season when nobody is calling you, when weather is not creating demand. That's when you need to take some extra extraordinary efforts to get your foot in the door, but not right now. Okay, so running promotions without a larger goal or without intent in mind of like, why are we doing this? Are we trying to fill our board? Are we trying to get more memberships? Are we trying to highlight that we now offer financing? What are you doing? If you don't have a larger goal and intentionality of when are you running it, where are you running it, how do people even know this offer exists, it's just random. Okay, you're just buying food without anything to actually make a meal. Okay, maybe you're trying different tactics every single month. Okay, some of y'all, we have to say, like, sit down, calm down. Okay, like this has had no time to marinate. It is underperforming because you launched it 5 minutes ago and you're already ready to cut it and switch to something else. Okay, everything takes a little bit of time. Okay, nothing good or impactful ever happened in the first 5 minutes. Okay, everything takes time. Everything gets better with time the more you can marinate. Now you don't need to be lazy and slacking and let things go too long, but we see this often with direct mail. Like, I did this big old direct mail launch and it didn't work. It didn't generate me a single dollar. I mailed it out to, 10,000 people in my market and I didn't get a single phone call. I was like, okay, hold on. Did we mail it to everybody in your area, or did we only mail it to people that have a home that's older than 10, 15 years old, to where actually their HVAC system might be of that same age? Did you mail it to the brand new neighborhood where all the homes were built in the last year? And like, guess what? Their HVAC systems are all a year old. Their pipes and plumbing is all just only a year old. They probably don't need you yet. So yeah, they're not calling you. Or, maybe you're brand new to this market. Like I've been here, but we're looking to expand 45 minutes away, 45 miles away. I'm going to launch direct mail and let people know that we're here in town now. Okay, that's not the tactic to do. Okay, we know that direct mail performs when you are in an established market, when you have been there and you have been around for a while. Okay, things don't happen the day that that postcard hits your mailbox. Oh my gosh, today is the day that the air decided to quit working. Look at here, I've got something in my mailbox, let me take action on that. Direct mail is a long-term strategy. You're going to need at least 3, maybe even 6 different touch points to the exact same home, to the exact same customer. Okay, so don't say, hey, I have mail going out every single week. Great, that's good. But how often are you touching that same home? Okay, I don't want you mailing to someone new every single week. I'd rather you have multiple touch points every 4, 6, 8 weeks to the same home. Okay, that's going to have a lot more impact. But sometimes you're too flighty and you're too random. You're just like, I did it, it didn't work, moving on. Okay, that's random marketing. That's nothing with a strategy. Measuring activity instead of results, that's also another kind of random activity. Okay, I'm sorry, but we say this all the time. I don't know anybody that's ever made payroll based off of your clicks and impressions. Have you? I mean, we've never done that at Lemon Seed. Let me know when that happens. Okay, we can create lots of little things that will get some random clicks and insights, but that's not helping me make payroll. Okay, so don't be too caught off guard by those vanity metrics, clicks, impressions. Okay, we want actual conversions. And then do we have the tools and resources in place to where we can actually track did that click actually do something? Did they click and did they actually call? Did they call? Did we book them? Did we get them on the job board? Did they buy anything? Okay, they did. I can measure that. I can see that call tracking number. I can follow that form fill. I can track the revenue attribution to it. Okay. That's a strategy. Not being random and being glorified by like, oh my gosh, I had 1 million impressions on this. Whoop-de-doo. Congratulations. I'm so proud for you. But what we care about with a real strategy is like, how did that actually convert to dollars? And do we know that it came from that tactic, from that source? Or do we know like, I just got a bunch of calls this month and like, good for us, we got money in the bank, but like we want to be able to feed that beast. We want to be able to pour gasoline onto things that are working. So we've got to have the things in place. Okay, so what we're going to be talking today is taking your random marketing from like, I'm doing all these kind of random tactics, I post every now and then, I do it when I feel like it, from buying just random food ingredients from the grocery store to making it into an actual plan. Okay, so what does strategic marketing look like? Okay, let's walk through the foundation here. Clear business goals. And you might be like, what does that mean? Okay, yeah, we have goals. We want to grow this year. Okay, we hear that all the time. But do you have the things in place? So like, how much do you want to grow? Are you looking to grow by 5%, 50%? Are you looking to go into a new market? Are you looking to add a new tactic or a new vertical? Like you've been in HVAC for 15 years, now you're looking to add plumbing, or you're looking to add electrical, or what might that be? Do you have that clearly defined? And then when you have that, you can use marketing as a tool to get that. So, hey, if I want to grow by $1 million this year, I'm going to need to run based off of my average ticket and my booking rate. I'm going to need to run X number of calls. I'm going to need to have X number of phone calls come in so that I can execute on that. Do you know that number? Okay. No, but that's how marketing, having a strategic plan, we can help you based off of your average ticket, based off of your booking rate. We need to generate X number of calls so that you can hit X number of revenue. Okay. Having that very clearly defined and knowing your numbers, knowing your KPI, that's when you start getting into a real marketing strategy. Okay, like there is intentionality behind it and there is an actual plan to it. Okay, not just like, yeah, we want to grow, but like, I don't know, I mean, like how much should I spend on marketing? Well, okay, let's get back to basics here. What are our goals? What are we looking to do? What are our numbers? What are our KPIs? And let's reverse engineer this into here. Okay, when you have those pieces, people like limits it. We do this all the time for contractors. We help them develop their budget. But it kind of starts from knowing those numbers and having those clear business defined goals. Then that's when we can start making some good things happening. Okay, that's where the marketing strategy really comes into place. Also, you start getting more strategic and a whole lot less random when you know who you're talking to, okay? When you have a defined target audience, okay? So just like how I said, are you mailing to everybody? Well, you might as well be mailing to nobody, okay? Are you talking to everybody? Everybody's my customer. It's like saying everybody's special. It's another way of saying nobody's special, okay? Let's be real. Not everybody is your customer, and not everybody should be your customer, okay? Most of the contractors that we work with, they are operationally focused. They are looking to grow. They are looking to employ good people at their office that have real careers and have a real career path. It's not a race to the bottom of the barrel to see how cheap can we do this job for the sake of being able to service this one client. Like, we probably weren't the right fit for that. Let someone else go lose money running that job and running that call, okay? So one of the first things we do when we get a new client at Lemon Seed is we're going to perform a marketing audit, okay? And in that, we're going to define who is your ideal customer, okay? Is it a man? Is it a woman? Are they 21 years old? Are they 45 years old? Are they 65 years old, okay? Those people have they're on different platforms, they receive news and marketing in different ways. Different things are more important to them than others. Okay, you've got to do two things for people. You've got to save them either time or save them money. Okay, a young person probably has a little bit more time on their hands. They're looking, how can you more save them money, versus a more established person or a person running a business or multiple things juggling with their kids, things like that. I'm like, I'll pay them money. Just save me some time. I don't have time to deal with this. I don't have time to be numerous rescheduling or reaching out in 15 different ways to get a hold of you people. Okay. So, but when you know that target audience, when you know that, you can put the things in place. So, like, hey, I know my customer is very tech savvy. They probably they have this type of job. They probably drive this type of car. Maybe it's an electric car like a Tesla because they are very tech forward. They appreciate modern innovation, things like that. Why would I torture that poor soul to make me have to call in, sit through a long phone tree list of dial this, push this, da da da. No, that person wants to be able to schedule online. They want to be able to text in. They want to be able to do everything virtually while they're multitasking, being on a Zoom meeting, but also being able to do that. Okay. They don't want to have to sit there and listen to your call holding music. Okay. But when you know that about your customer, then you can put those things in place. You can have an automatic chat schedule bot on your website. You can have a schedule now form fill where they can actually go select their time right now. That is where you meet people where they're at and where you put the strategy in place for them to be able to, like, yes, I love working with those people, okay? Or I can schedule them after hours and I know they're going to show up the next day. Like, I literally did that not too long ago. I'm like, I finally got home. Like, I've been meaning to call those people, but it's 7:30. I just got home with the kids. We just finished dance class. Like, it's not normal business hours. Like, I can't call them right now, but like, you know what I was able to do? I was able to go online, schedule right then, and they were at my home at 9:30 the next morning. That is what I'm talking about, okay? But that I was their exact defined audience and they had the tools in place. That's a real strategy, okay? So when you know and have it clearly defined, what is your audience? Name them, okay? Lufkin Linda, okay, Nacogdoches Nancy. What is important to them? What do they value? Where are they going on the weekends? Where are they shopping? What frustrates them? When you can have that clearly defined, that helps you to know when and how and where to put your messaging, okay? That's a strategy here. And then when you have consistent messaging, when you are saying the same message, when you have the same brand, when you are presenting yourself in the same method across all of your different platforms, okay? You can't talk about how you are the company of today and you're the most modern and you're the most innovative and you do all the things on social media, but then you have a super outdated website or that you are handing them a paper invoice for them to sign off on. That, well, this isn't digital. Or you look one way on social media with your logo and your colors, but then a totally different vehicle wrap shows up, and then like, I don't know what that pawpaw uniform is that you're wearing. Okay, like, it's inconsistent messaging. It's like, uh, are these the same people? Did I call the right company? Like, that's not at all what I was expecting. That's inconsistent messaging, and that ultimately, like, they're never gonna come out and say like, I don't trust you because you look different, but they're gonna be like, do I really trust what they're saying? Like, are they really the best at what they're doing? Okay. So when you can have consistent messaging, that's a strategy and that builds trust. That builds loyalty. That builds loyal customers, raving fans that then become your advocates, advocating for you. They're saying, hey, you should use them. That was a fantastic experience. Guess what? That's a marketing tactic. Okay. So don't be sleeping on that. Don't be sleeping on the customer experience. Don't be sleeping on the importance of having consistent messaging, of having a consistent look, of having a thorough and cohesive customer flow and customer journey. Okay. That's a strategy. It's not random. All right. um a content plan tied to your customers' needs. Okay. How are they reaching out to you? What matters to them? If they're on social media, are you showing the personality of your company? Are you regularly engaging with them? I have to say this all the time. Sometimes I'll talk to a contractor and they'll be like, I only want like educational pieces. Like, I need to tell them the difference between, this type of system and this type of system, and I need to tell them of like the type of equipment that we have and like why it cleans the ducts better than the other people. I'm like, okay, like, that's great. That can be like a piece of your but like, let me tell you, no one is logging on to Instagram to figure out like, what is the differences between these two types of machines? That's not why I'm on social media. Guess why I'm on social media? To be social. not to be sold to, okay? So don't have a content plan that is purely around only around education or only around your offers, okay? Show me the why. Show me the people behind the company, behind the logo. Show me the people that are answering the phone. Show me your personality. Show me the culture of what it's like to work there, because guess what? That can also be a hiring tool, a recruitment tool, okay? Do not sleep on that. But having a plan that is tied to your customers' needs of how you can be social and meeting them where they're at, that's a strategy, okay? That's not random. There's tremendous intentionality behind it. It might, to the business owner, appear random, like, why am I going to go buy donuts? Okay. Why am I going to go buy this money gun to shoot off money? Okay. Like what is that? But in reality, it's like, how can I showcase the culture of my company? How can I get my team buy-in? Okay. We get this all the time. It's like, my guys are never going to do that. That you can't get them in front of a camera. Nope, not going to happen. Like, not going to happen. We see that all the time. But it's shocking, like when the owner and when the leadership can kind of start doing it themselves, when they can set the tone, when they can go and interact from their own personal page with the content, the other people will kind of start to fall in line. And we had a client that was kind of putting their foot down, like, my guys are never going to do this. And now they're like, their guys are fighting to do it. Like, once they saw the positive reaction from it, they were like, okay, I want to do it. Like, hey, can we do it together? Like, hey, include me in it. And then like they start engaging with it and stuff too. And so, it's super important. It's a strategy, okay? And that's how you appear a little less random, a little bit more intentional, and it's those things that actually move the needle, okay? So, we've talked about random, we've talked about the strategy, but I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. So, before you market anything, okay? Before you go create a post, before you go buy some ads, before you click send on that email, before you're like, we're going to launch this campaign, I want you to ask yourself 3 things, okay? What business goal does this support? Okay? Am I is this going to help me like it to increase my average ticket? Is this going to help me to fill my board when the time is slow? Is this going to help me be able to move into this new market? Is this going to be able to help me from taking people who have used me for HVAC but never for plumbing? Okay. What business goal does this support? Am I trying to grow my plumbing business? Am I trying to move into this new market? Am I just trying to increase revenue? Okay. What business goal does this support? Okay. Because that may not be discounting down different things. It may be like, hey, we need to hone in on our operations. We need to increase our booking rate. If we would just increase our booking rate by 10%, we'd actually increase revenue by $150,000 this year. If we would just do that much without spending a dollar more on marketing, without hiring another different technician, without having to buy another different van, if we will just increase our booking rate by 10%, can we be able to do this? So what business goal does this support? Okay. I launched plumbing last year, but like I really want to ramp it up, okay? What offers can we do to promote that? How are we telling people that we even now offer plumbing? How can we tell people that we are the one-stop shop for everything in their home, that we are the trusted source? So, before I go make that post, before I go buy that ad, before I go run that campaign, is that supporting the business goal that I'm looking to achieve right now? Okay. And then the second question I want you to ask, who is this for? Who is your ideal target audience? Who is your ideal avatar? What is her name? What is his name? And then is he going to experience this ad or this email or this method? Is that going to land in a place that he would actually see this? Is the messaging on it going to be in a way that appeals to him of like, I can schedule online. Thank goodness. Like finally somebody's up with today's times. Are you communicating that message? Is that what's important to him? But you don't know unless you know who is this tied for, okay? And so for every different customer, you're going to have a different ideal avatar based off of your market, based off of your company and what values you're able to provide to those customers. You should have a different avatar. But don't leave them sitting in the shelf, sitting in your back closet, okay? No, like, oh yeah, we've got that defined. It's kind of like some of y'all's core values. Like, yeah, we got it written down somewhere, but like, you're not living it out, okay? When you're intentional, when you know, okay, would Nacogdoches Nancy, how would she react to this ad? Would she even come across it on this platform? Okay. Like Nacogdoches Nancy, she's 55 years old. She's probably not all up in Reddit. Okay. Like, let's just be real. So like, would she ever come across this? Okay. You need to know who is this for so that you can put the messaging, you can put the ads, you can put the campaigns where they're going to be. Okay. And then what action do I want someone to take? I know that sounds super, super simple. Like, I want them to call me. Okay, yes. But like, I want you to schedule now online. I want you to like, comment, and share to be entered into this contest. I want you to tag a neighbor. I want you to take advantage of this free diagnostic that we're doing. I want you to leave us a review. Okay, you have to actually tell someone what are you wanting them to do. It sounds so simple, but it's often so, we just assume that people know, but we're never like actually asking for it. We're never actually asking for the business. We're never actually asking for that review. So what action do I want them to take? Make sure that you are saying that CTA, that call to action, you got to call it out for them to take action with it. So before you market anything, okay, you want to go from random to strategic. Ask these three questions. What business goal does this support? Who is this for? And what action do I want someone to take? Okay. So when you can explain these simple questions, that can transform your decision making. Okay. That can go, I know why I'm doing this. I know why I'm putting it here. I know why it says this. That's a strategy, and that's how we're moving to strategies, making real moves for ourselves and moving away from that randomness. All right. So, I've spent some time with you guys today. I hope that's given you some insight, giving you some ideas, maybe giving you a little gut punch, a little bit like, I am doing that, that's my bad. I hope this gives you some practical takeaways that you can walk away with. So, just to recap, stop chasing every idea, okay? Just because somebody in your Facebook group did it and they're throwing the strong arm money bags fire emojis, like, doesn't mean that that's going to work for you and your ideal customer. Okay, so stop chasing every single idea. You want to talk about not being able to grow is when you're not very focused. Okay, when you can focus and be lasered in, dialed in, when you are like that, it's almost unreasonable that you would not hit your goal. Okay. But when you're chasing every single idea and losing focus and everything only has 2 minutes to marinate, of course you're going to feel stagnant and flat. Okay. That's the randomness. So stop chasing every single idea. Build around your goals, your audience, and make it consistent. Okay. So define, just like that first question, what business goal does this support? Who is my audience? And then be consistent with it. Okay. What do I want them to do? And be frequent with it. Okay. Sometimes it can get tiring to say the same thing over and over and like, but I've already said this. I mean, listen, Lemon Seed, we try to put out a ton of content from social media lives to webinars to emails to our podcast. And a lot of times we're saying the same thing, but like, that's what it takes, that reiteration. Okay. Don't lose focus on that consistency. Okay, people need to hear the same message over and over and over. I saw Alex Hormozy, he was talking about Dave Ramsey. He's like, he says the same thing, don't spend more than you bring in. Like, you win the lottery, don't spend more than you bring in. Okay, you get divorced, don't spend more than you bring in. You have a new baby, don't spend more than you bring in. Okay, that's the same message, but just over and over and over, you're saying the same thing. And then a simple strategy will outperform random tactics every time. Okay, it may not feel super sexy or super exciting or super innovative to get to those back to basics or to let things take time to marinate to where they can actually see those results. It might be, I know some of those visionaries and I know some of those fast paced, you're like, this is terrible. But you know what? When you can let that, with, if you've done the things we've talked about, when you've addressed the business goals, when you're talking to the right audience, when you have the right messaging, when you're consistent over it, that will outperform those random fly by night tactics. Okay, that is what will drive and move the needle. When you can be laser focused, when you can be super intentional. It doesn't have to be all super fancy. It can be simple. This is what we're going to focus on. This is what we're going to do. I know my message. I know my audience. I know how this is going to help me achieve my business goals. That will always outperform the randomness. Okay. So if your marketing feels scattered, if your marketing feels random, we would love to help you build out a strategy that fits for your business. Okay, it should be custom, it should be curated. It's not a one size fits all. So if you would love help, that is what Lemon Seed was designed to do. We are marketing strategists and branding experts for the home service industry. So we work with contractors, HVAC contractors, plumbers, electricians, roofers, pest control, all across the country. We live, eat, and breathe marketing strategy and branding for the home service industry. So if you want to feel more solid and secure, you want to know that someone is driving your marketing, that there is intentionality and a real strategy, reach out to us, okay? lemonseedmarketing.com. Fill out a simple questionnaire, give us a few little details, and then it'll pop up a calendar link where you can schedule a time. Friends and family talk free, and if you're watching this, you're a friend and a family. So reach out to us or just shoot us an email, hello@lemonseedmarketing.com. We would love to take care of you. Friends and family talk free, we'll let you know, hey, we could really help you with this, or hey, you got some great things going on there, just continue the path. No pressure. But thank you for tuning in. Happy Wednesday, guys. Let's make this a great, fantastic end of summer. Finish out your goals strong, and we will see you next time.